Hi, I'm Alexis Hasselberger, time management and productivity coach. Perfection is an impossible goal. It's not a game we can play. It's not a game we can win. We will never get there. And so I want to talk a little bit about what we can do instead, something that actually is more achievable and I think is a much a much kinder and gentler way to go about our business, essentially. So this concept is the concept of good enough, right? Now, sometimes when people hear the concept or the phrase good enough, they think it's settling, right? That it's like settling for less, that it's, not as great. I mean, it's not perfect, right? But perfect isn't possible, remember? And so we want to talk about some things that actually are possible and why I think good enough is actually maybe my favorite concept, my favorite way to think about things. The reason I love good enough so much as a concept is that one, it's not the same, right? Like no matter what type of thing you're doing, something that is, good enough for getting dinner on the table might be very different for, building a self-driving car or something like that, right? Like there are varying degrees of good enough. Good enough just means that it is at that threshold, at that point where we don't need to do anything more, right? It's good enough. It is going to get us there. It's the maximal efficiency that we can have, right? I think of it like a pass-fail test. Have you ever taken a pass-fail test where maybe passing was 70%? Now, if you get anything over like 70, 71%, you have studied too much, right? You have wasted energy because you are not gaining anything from getting a higher grade than the passing grade there, right? And so I wanted you to think about this for all sorts of areas in your life. Like, what is that pass-fail point? What is that passing grade where you have done enough that it's going to be good in that particular situation that you can feel like it was a job well done, but that you're not expending, so much extra effort that nobody is going to notice, right? And I often think of it this way, right? It can take the same amount of time to go from 0 to 90% as it does to go from, 90% to 99.999%, right? We're not going to get to 100. We can't do perfect. So who notices that difference, the extra, almost 10% at the end? Usually no one but you, right? So is that time worth it? Is all that effort worth it getting to something that really isn't going to be noticed, right? Or would that energy, that time, those key resources that you have, are those better spent on other things, on getting other more things to good enough, right? So I want you to think about this concept of good enough. And I want to leave you with just a couple of phrases or things that you could maybe use as mantras if you are really firmly in the perfectionism space and you would like to start thinking about moving towards good enough. And so these phrases are this, they come up all the time. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, and done is better than perfect.
What's up? Video editor here. Just want to quickly say that only about 11.7% of you guys are actually subscribed. So, do me a favor and just subscribe.